Hey guys, I am sitting here again. Um, ooh, I need to increase the bit rate, I think. All right, let's do that. Apply. Okay, hopefully YouTube doesn't yell at me. Waiting on that to see if YouTube is happy again. All right, looks like we've got a little bit of a crowd here right now, which is nice. How are you guys doing? Let's see who's here. So, Pedro, Blue Diamonds, Oriana, Claire, Unsphered, Emily. Let's see. Seltzer, hello, you have returned. Magic Monkichi, Pierre, Jamie, Amir. You're only here for 30 minutes because there's school tomorrow. Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. And let's see. Michael is here. Tannerman. Michael's wondering what my students call me. They just call me Joanna. Yeah. I'm pretty relaxed. Let's see. Quality Toast, welcome back. How are you doing? Pabs, hello, hello. Let's see. Andrew, what's up, what's up? And let's see. Who is it? Anyone else? Carson is here. Paolo. Fibonacci Chickpea, welcome back. Let's see. April is here as well. Pavel. Tolonola, hello. Let's see. Looks like people are discussing what you call your teacher. Is that what it is? Yo, hello, Sensei. Hey, Chris. I struggle so much with your username. Fibonacci. There I go again. So you guys might notice I am again sitting down. Change the camera angle slightly because I kind of like this more like not so top down, you know. Last time was a little bit too angled down. So I brought the camera down, and this camera over here is supposed to be my Flute close-up camera, and so it's now turned into a tea close-up. So I have tea. It is maple tea. And I'm not having coffee right now because, like, even though I am actually really tired, but I'm not having coffee because, you know, I'm doing that old person thing where, like, I ate breakfast too late, and then it's upsetting my, like, my internal meal time, and so we did just have lunch. But I was really full even before lunch, but I figured that I needed to eat before doing this stream. Otherwise, I would get ridiculously hungry during the stream. So anyway, I'm all messed up. My internal mealtime is completely messed up right now. And I know that if I feel like this, that I am not going to have a great time. You know, like if I also drink coffee, because coffee is pretty acidic. You know, the trade-off for feeling settled and like, you know, maturing and growing up, and I love all of that, but the trade-off is that your body just, you know, is not as, you know, crazy as it was before. So that's kind of what's happening right now. you guys are so awesome. I love seeing you guys just talk to each other. This is so nice. Oh. Hope I don't feel pressured to do this stream. I'm not pressured per se, but I kind of feel a responsibility to show up when I say I'm going to show up. So you may notice I did not promise in the title of this stream that I am going to do sight reading, because to be completely honest with you guys, I am so tired. But not in like a bad way either. It's just, I'm just tired from not having had time to take to myself for a long time now. So essentially, to put it like really, really short, just gonna come right out and tell you guys that ever since the pandemic hit, my schedule has gone insane, which I am thankful for, because, you know, that does mean that I am, you know, bringing in more income than before. So my teaching schedule has gone insane. And I basically have not had a break since the beginning of the pandemic, at least when the pandemic hit the western, the west part, if you could call it the west, I guess. So basically when the pandemic hit North America, that was kind of when everything exploded. I have not had a break since then. And so I'm definitely feeling the need for a break, but I still have things lined up until mid-September. So I decided about a week or so ago to just straight up take some time off in September. I haven't started scheduling students, you know, like by basically the end of August, I had not scheduled students for mid-September and on. So I decided, you know what, I'm just going to take some time off because I really need it. And I also kind of felt like if I show up to the stream and I literally show you guys how tired I am, that you know, for those of you who are also feeling really tired, I just want you to know that you're not alone and we're tired together. But, you know, it is a complex feeling because it's like I'm really thankful and I don't want to sound ungrateful for all the work I'm getting, but I really need some time off. So, yeah. Gotta throw in the occasional days off, yeah. You guys are so sweet. Like, thank you. But hello to Retro Toy Lover 2012. Welcome to the stream. We're so happy you're here. Lemon Crush, welcome back. Are there any other names that I've missed? So I'm gonna try and call out your names as I see you. But yeah, I thought that, you know what, let's just do a chatty stream. This is going to be kind of a throwaway stream, but like I feel that it's good for you guys to see me in this state too, because then you guys know I'm human. I'm not, there's nothing, you know, like glorified or amazing about me. I really am just human. And I need some time off, and you know what? It's fine. We can have a chill stream and we can just chat, basically. So there you go. That is my introduction for today. I'm very tired. Yeah. Now, looks like you guys already know kind of what's going on with the stream, but in case we have some newbies in here, this chat is meant to be literally a place for you guys to actually chat. Now, normally it's because I'm reading music, and so, you know, I can't always look at the chat, and I would really love the chat to be a place for you guys to talk to each other, kind of like as if you're in a coffee shop and, you know, you're meeting up and just kind of like hanging out and just talking about random things. And then I'm sort of in the background making noise for you guys. And, you know, if one person ends up just kind of inundating the chat with repeated messages, repeated capital messages, capitalized messages, repeated questions to the point where it just floods the chat, then you guys can't talk to each other. So we have to maintain some sort of like order in here. So as you can see, I have quite a few mods in here and they know how this is run. They, you know, we do this type of thing over on Twitch for the first 15, 20 minutes of my practice sessions over on Twitch. So where we just kind of chat, and it really is quite disruptive if people kind of come in and just inundate the chat with like a repeated message or a repeated question, even if you are well-meaning and you think that that is the way to get my attention. In one sense, yeah, I guess that you do get my attention, but it just makes me want to hide and not talk to you. So in the same way that you wouldn't yell the same question to someone's face repeatedly over and over and over in real life, don't do that here. So that's all I ask of you guys. Hashtag no spam fam. But yeah, so, you know, so I'm not my usual energetic self. I've even had some students ask me if I'm having some, you know, allergy attacks and that's making me tired. So I am very conscious that it's very obvious that I'm really tired right now. But you know what? I'm just deciding to not hide it. I'm just not hiding the fact that I'm tired. But, you know, a whole bunch of y'all are really tired too. So let's just be tired together. Yeah. Seems like you guys like my chatting streams. So I'm like, I guess I'm not as shy to just chat. Hey, Diana, you feel me? Are you also tired? Oh, Diana Hernandez. Are you the same Diana flutist that's over on Twitch now? I love seeing you guys come over to Twitch because you guys can see the actual struggle with the Iber concerto that I'm having. It's great content in case you guys wanted to see this kind of like ongoing super long project. I feel like Twitch is more of a great platform for that type of content. Very long form, like a very long timeline to get a project done. If you want to do that sort of thing, I feel Twitch is a really good platform for that. So if you guys want to see me struggle day to day with Iber, I'm over on Twitch, and I'll be over on Twitch after this stream. But yeah. Oh, Fibonacci, you feel sad that I feel like I have to physically show I'm tired? I guess, like, if you see it from that perspective, that is kind of sad, isn't it? But at the same time, I feel like a lot of people don't realize I'm human. And so I feel it's important to show that I get tired, you know? So, all right, so the questions are coming in now. At this point in time, if you have asked a question and I have overlooked it, I do apologize, but please at me because it highlights my tag so I can see it. At me and ask the question from this point on. Got it? Okay. But I do see that Cameron has a question. How many days in a week do I practice normally, and for how long? Is there a sufficient length of practice, or should it depend on the person? Great question. Everything that you see on Twitch is all that I practice. I think there was only one day extra that I did for myself for my Monkey head joint trial. That was it. Everything else from when I started Twitch until now, you've seen every single one of my practice sessions are on there. I know, it sounds a little insane, but I am a little bit crazy. And I'm okay with it. You know, part of it for me is that it's for my own mental health. I have really bad imposter syndrome. And so putting all of my struggles, all of my insecurities and all of my fears of practicing online is a really great way. It's like almost kind of like, I guess, exposure therapy. And so for me, I feel like I don't have to hide because I have nothing to hide because everything is on Twitch. Like, you know, in terms of my flute playing and stuff like that. So you can see my evolution on Twitch. It's actually pretty cool to sort of see how one can develop over time from regular practicing. So I only do, in terms of real practicing, I only do between 20 to 45 minutes of practicing per day, because the first 15-ish minutes, 15 to 20 minutes is spent just talking with people and catching up and getting any thoughts that I have in my head, getting them out so that I can concentrate on practicing. And I still get work done. If I was in music school, that would absolutely not be enough time. It's just that, I teach full time now. So it's important that I keep developing myself, but at the same time, I don't have as much time as before. But if anything, it's the regularity of practicing that is more important than just how long you practice, right? So I have to practice in a way that is sustainable to me, that I can sustain it. I get energy from it. It doesn't, burn me out, So, I guess my answer to you is that everyone has a different way of learning, and you kind of have to figure out what your brain and your body likes. So I like to kind of vary, this is a very blanket statement. So obviously not everyone is going to fit into either category, or there might be kind of people in the middle. So I like to say that some people like this kind of really focused 1 or 2 hours of practicing, where they're just tunnel visioning into practicing, and they just do that for the 1 to 2 hours, and then they feel really great afterwards. They get that kind of dopamine hit, and then they feel really great afterwards. Other people find that they can only hold their attention from anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes. So what I say for those people is that don't fight that. Don't fight the fact that you are distracted by something else after 15 minutes. You should actually work that into how you work. So let's say you want to practice for an hour, do 4 15-minute sessions, right? 15 minutes here, do something else. You could do a chore, you can, watch YouTube videos or whatever it is that you're doing, homework, whatever. Come back, do another 15 minutes of a different topic, right? And then, just so your brain feels like it's doing something different, right? So it really kind of depends on the person. I definitely am the type of person who enjoys that kind of tunnel vision, working on one thing for a longer session. I definitely am that type of person, but it doesn't work for everyone, and that's totally fine. That's what makes us all really unique and beautiful, right? So that's my very long answer to your question. All right, let's see if I can catch some more questions here. All right, let's see. Oh, so I can see that you guys are atting me, which is fantastic. Andrew is asking how the trumpet and flute vibrato conversation went after our chat last night. Went very well. So I was talking to Andrew and to another student about the difference between trumpet vibrato and flute vibrato. As it turns out, they are completely opposite, and it was verified by the other student too. On the flute, you want to play with a deeper, more warbly vibrato. The higher you go, and then the lower you go, the more shallow you want your vibrato to be. And the reason why you want to do that is just because of how the ear perceives it, right? If you do a really warbly vibrato in the low register on the flute, to the ear, it just sounds like it's going sharp and flat. It doesn't sound nice per se. And then if you do a really shallow vibrato, the higher you go, the more the ear just cannot perceive the vibrato. So on the flute, you basically you counteract that by doing a shallow vibrato down on the bottom. So it sounds like a vibrato, but it doesn't sound like it's going sharp and flat. And the higher you go, you do a more warbly vibrato just so that the ear can actually perceive the vibrato. What apparently happens on the trumpet, as Andrew pointed out to me in our lesson last night, was that on the trumpet, you have the opposite problem, because the higher you go on the trumpet, the more, like, if you do a warbly vibrato, you're just going to end up hitting different partials and end up trilling. So yeah, that's not an issue on the flute. In fact, it's really hard to, like, skip between the partials on the flute, like, quickly. How interesting, right? So you end up being trained to do exactly the opposite on the trumpet. You do a warbly vibrato the lower you go, and then you do a more kind of, like, my other student mentioned that it was almost kind of felt like a tremolo with your breath, kind of like that, the higher you go. So it was very interesting that was verified by my other student who also plays the trumpet. So it's so cool, you guys. Like, the stuff that I learned from my students too, man. Thank you, Andrew, for having that conversation with me, because now we get to share it with everyone. It's so cool, right? Like, the fact that, you can find out why, like, you do things differently from instrument to instrument. It's so cool. Okay, let's see. Oh, Amir, you like that I'm opening up more on YouTube. I like it too, because I feel less like I have to put on a show. In fact, right now I'm not putting on a show, which is really nice. Like, it doesn't kind of zap energy for me, especially energy that I don't have. So, Pavel, the warm is making you tired. Same. I'm the type of person who gets the energy zapped out of me the warmer it is. I get more energy the cooler it is. I know. I'm weird. But I guess so is everyone else in the Pacific Northwest. Retro, you're probably the only person in the chat who's not tired. Well, we celebrate it. It's great to not be tired. This is not a contest. But at the same time, I don't think we need to hide the fact that we're tired, I feel like we live in a very strange society and culture where you're weirdly expected never to be tired, but then if you are tired, you have to be burned out tired. Like, you have to be the best tired. You have to be so tired you drop dead, Like, isn't that weird? I find that really strange. Like, why can't we just be normal tired and that's okay, right? Like, I don't get it. So this is kind of, I guess, me showing up to do this is sort of like one of the ways that I'm sort of combating that expectation that if you're going to be tired, you have to be, like, burnt out tired. I think it's stupid. Like, I think it's okay to be tired and recognize that you're tired, and then, like, block out some time for yourself, right? So, which is what I'm doing, and I'm trying to just, like, be open that I'm doing this. So, yeah. We really need to implement mandatory afternoon naps for everyone, Jay is saying. Hello, Jay. Welcome to the chat, and I do really love your contribution to this chat. I agree. I believe in, is it Spain? They do that? Isn't it afternoon siesta? Is that right? Sounds glorious, if you ask me. Absolutely glorious. Carson just got a thumb port. You're wondering where I store it. I store it in the bag because it doesn't actually fit in, like, on where it's supposed to be on the tube. And since I wipe down the instrument before I put it away, because I have really oily hands, I just pop the finger port and thumb port in the like outer case. Yeah, just out there. So let's see. do I go back and watch my old videos to watch my own evolution on the piece, on the eBear? I do plan on doing that one day. So eventually, when I can have the whole thing where, like, I've finished memorizing, but I'm kind of stitching the third movement together now. I have the first movement and the second movement at tempo, and I can play it with the recording, although I probably have to review that a few more times now. But right now I'm stitching together the third movement because I memorized it in chunks, and now I'm stitching it all together. And then once that's all stitched together, and I can play it in one shot, maybe not fully at tempo, but somewhat at tempo. Once I can do that, then it start to, then I need to kind of go back and forth with the recording, listen to the recording, think about what's happening in the orchestra around me, and then like go back and forth, basically imitating the recording. And then eventually I need to be able to play the whole third movement at tempo with the recording. And then eventually I want to play the entire thing from start to finish, no breaks, as if I'm performing it with a recording. And not only with one recording, I want to do it with a few, because I want to kind of get an idea of, like, traditionally what are the types of things that you do musically with the piece, and also where can you have a little bit more individual interpretation, right? And so if you do it with a few different recordings, you can kind of get a rough idea of how those people are interpreting it, which provides, I think, a very interesting educational kind of like standpoint to the piece. So I want to do all of that. We're getting there, guys. So I think this is turning into like a multi-year project. And eventually I want to do like a big video that kind of goes back to where I started. So I'm gonna have to do a lot of watching myself later. And I want to see how I progressed and actually make this almost like documentary style video where I put into words how exactly I evolved as a player from this piece. Yeah, like I would really like to do that. But that's going to take a long time. Like we're talking, this is probably like a multi-year, because I think we're in the second year now of studying this piece. Yeah, halfway through the second year. So like, you guys aren't going to see that video for a long time, but that is definitely sort of like a long-term project I have in my head that I want to do, because I think, like, how cool would that be to be able to document exactly how I evolved on one single piece. Because in this one single piece, I've actually changed my posture twice to be able to play it, right? Like, how cool is that to be able to document that, right? So... yeah. Hey, Flutist Finny, welcome. How are you doing? Harry, I'm so sorry. I'm really tired right now, so I decided not to do any sight reading in this stream. Yeah, I just feel like I'm not up to it right now, so sorry. Yeah. Pedro, you saw the Ensign Symphony on YouTube virtual performance and you got excited when you saw me? Oh, thank you. Is Ensign Symphony doing like a pre-recorded symphony over the internet? I don't think so. Yeah, I'm not sure. I do apologize if I miss your question. Make sure you @ me so I can scan it and really quickly see your question. Or you can send me a super chat if you wanted to, if you were so inclined. You don't have to, but 100% I will see your question if you do that. Yeah. Jeff, you do 45 minutes of practicing max for you at a time. That's what a lot of, apparently, I think was it psychologists say that is sort of like the upper limit of how much your brain can even handle at a certain time of studying. It's interesting. Hey, Molly. How are you doing? Hey, Kuro. Hello. And I agree. Everyone is encouraging blue diamonds and saying, like, never too late to chase your dreams. Absolutely. I completely agree. Yeah. You guys are so lovely to each other. It makes me so happy. All right, see you later, Amir. I know it's really late for you. Have a great day at school tomorrow. Oh, interesting, Molly. You have to do 1 to 2 hours of practicing a day, no matter how unhappy with the practice quality you are. I think it was Stravinsky that said that you need to create to get inspiration, and you find that even with bad practices. Oh, yeah. You know, actually, I learn the most from bad practicing sessions. I learn the most about myself there. So I've been also encouraging my students to, like, you know, if you have a really bad day, bad tone day, just a bad playing day, you know, put the flute down for like a few minutes to just be like, whoa, today's bad, and just accept that it's bad. Like, you gotta give yourself a moment to like accept that it's a bad day. Then what's interesting is that you gotta like basically turn your perspective of yourself and your playing around a little bit and look into like, why does it sound bad? What am I doing to make it bad? You know, like, does this have anything to do with what I've been doing lately? Have I been, have my eating habits been different? And is it affecting the flute? Are my workout habits different? So it's affecting my flute playing. Like, am I just really stressed from something? Am I really tired from something? Blah, 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 you know? So, like, it's all very interesting to kind of see how it's all linked together. Yeah. Even your allergies can affect how you play. Yeah. It's very, very interesting. I just saw Magic Monkey who said, no more drag, Joanna. Yeah, I know. It's no makeup for me. Probably forever. I didn't even wear makeup for my wedding. And it was fantastic. Let me tell you, being able to cry and not feel like you're going to mess up your makeup is fantastic. Like happy tears, you know? All right, Emily is asking, would I suggest a finger port for someone who has to tightly bear claw their left hand to keep the fingers on the keys? So Emily, you can try that. However, it sounds like you're having to literally grip the instrument to keep it from, I'm imagining, rolling out of your hands, right? So please look into the rock stroke grip. My Twitch peeps and I, and my students and I, have been experimenting. I use what we are calling the full rock stroke grip, in which you line up the outer edge of the lip hole to the center of the keys, but you play not with the head joint rolled into you like this. You play with the body rolled out. And the idea is that, at least our idea is that, if you have smaller hands and smaller fingers, you can reach the keys a lot more easily if they're tilted out this way. And then the flute is now just resting in your hand like this. Your left hand acts as a fulcrum. Your chin and your right thumb are just pushing against the instrument this way, against the tube, to just prevent that kind of seesaw action from happening. That's what I would suggest, is to look into that. Now, we discovered something interesting between my students and Twitch peeps. I have a pretty small hand. I'm noticing I'm sort of at the lower end of like fully grown adult hand. So from the base of my palm to the tip of my ring finger, I am just over 6 inches. Just over 6 inches. Now, I have a student whose finger goes up to 7.5 inches. So much longer than me, right? Like crazy much longer. So you can imagine that for that student, it would not be comfortable to have the body rolled out so much, because they would just end up going like this, right? Like, oh, how uncomfortable, right? So we've noticed that if you have smaller hands like me, so about 6 inches from base of palm to tip of finger, you'll like that kind of full rockstro, which is that really turned out body. But the longer your finger is, the more you want to turn it towards you, but you're still going to hold the flute the same way, which is that you're using your left hand as like a fulcrum, and then chin and right thumb just kind of holds the flute from going like this, right? So it's more that you're kind of turning the body outward or inward to fit your hand ergonomically. So that's what I suggest. Look up rockstro grip on Google, like rock, R-O-C-K, S-T-R-O, rockstro. Look that up, okay? Because that sounds like more the type of thing that will help you, Emily. Yeah. So, Lucid, welcome. How are you doing? Hey, Victor. How are you guys doing? Hey, Pink Kitty. Hello, hello. Yeah, Oriana, we're in the second year of the eBear. We're like well into the second year of eBear. It's a long time. Like if you look back, it's been a long time. How do I watch and listen to myself without cringing? I don't. I cringe. I would say that the first time I didn't really cringe was listening to the end of the Monkey head joint trial. The very end of it, where I'm just playing what became my new head joint, playing that head joint at the end of that trial. That was the first time that I was like, I kind of like how I sound. Yo, Nicholas, how are you doing? Welcome, welcome. All right. What is my opinion of the Bach partitas and how difficult are they? Well, it depends on how deeply you want to study them, right? Because they can get really complex if you're studying kind of like harmonically how they're put together. Note-wise, you could be like intermediate and be able to play it, but a true understanding of it can take you well into your like music school years, professional years. It's kind of one of those things that keeps on giving, you know? There's no real like, I think something that I learned from becoming a professional is that a lot of these pieces you can go back to in the future and you can glean more interesting things from them. You can learn more, you can have more insight as to how to play them well. There's really no end point. And it sounds like your question is asking if there's sort of like an end point to like, you know, you need to be like a definitive level to play something. There's no such thing. There's no such thing as a definitive level. You know, like there are levels for like curriculums, and that's essentially you're getting certified. Like, hey, you know, you have an official document that will tell you that you can play something, but can you play it to its full potential? In my opinion, I don't think one ever plays anything to its full potential. It's you know, the older you get, the more experience you have, life experience and flute experience, the more you're going to play things differently. And it could be the simplest thing, and yet you will play it very differently as you keep going. So I don't think there's an end to it, you know? So, you know, you got to start seeing things from a less defined position, I would say. The Beethoven Opus 107 Variations in National Airs. I don't think I've played that one before. That sounds fun. So I'm sorry I don't really have much to say about the Beethoven, but at least for the Bach partitas, you can really play them as soon as you hit an intermediate level. But can you play them to their true potential? I don't think one can ever, in my opinion, at least. The thumbnail for flute breathing is absolutely ace. I don't remember that one. Wait, let me look this up. Looking this up real quick. Oh. Oh man. Those were the days. I feel like I've changed a lot since then. I'm definitely not the same person. Definitely not the same person. But that was a good time. It was a good time. Yeah. Pink Kitty. We all sound melancholic. We're tired is what it is. And I'm not hiding it. I'm energetic Joanna probably won't be back until after my break. So I'm taking a break mid-September because end of August was when I was like, man, I really need to take a break because I haven't taken a break in a long time, and I can feel myself getting really tired. And I feel like if I try to act like I'm not tired, that's just going to burn me out even more. So I'm just straight up not hiding it. And as it turns out, a whole bunch of people here are really tired too. So that's all that's happening. All right. Let's see. So I was doing the Ibert and Machiavellian at the same time. I don't remember. I think I did the Machiavellian before I did the Ibert. I started the Ibert a little bit a couple years ago, but then I put it down. And I didn't come back to it until like there was just one day on Twitch. I was just like, you know what? We're gonna do this. We're just going to tunnel vision on the Ibert for forever until I can get it. So we're still doing that. Hey B Flat, how are you doing? How vast is my flute music collection for listening to on headphones? Not very vast at all. Why? Is because so when I was sort of in the thick of, like when I was younger and in the thick of like going crazy on the flute, buying CDs is really expensive. And so I just didn't. The CDs that I got were very few. I didn't get a lot. I only really got Sir James Galway CDs because my brother introduced me to Sir James Galway, and my brother is the one with the vast CD collection, not me. So because they were so expensive and my family wasn't the richest, so I just didn't ask. And I'm not blaming them. It's just that I knew what was happening, so I didn't want to, I guess, ask for more. And then slowly through university, things started to become more and more available online through YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, etc. So I started to kind of lose the need to buy when I could just stream. So I kind of hopped on that bandwagon pretty early. So in terms of owning a lot of music to listen to, I don't own a lot. If I want to listen to something, I look it up and stream it. So yeah, I know kind of a disappointing answer, right? But it's the truth. So, do I compose music? My dear Pabs, no, I do not. Would have you heard the string quartet that I had to compose for music theory? No, I don't compose. I might have I got a ridiculously high mark on that one. I think it was like a 96% or something, but only because I kept going back in for office hours with my professor, Dr. Bob. And anything that he marked, because he made us turn it in sections, and then you can take each section to him and correct it to near perfection with him. And then in the very end, your final project was literally just to slap them all together and turn it in, and you got a separate mark from the perfected version. So I basically treated it the same way that I treated physics when I was in high school. So in high school, I became a musician. Okay, I don't think it's a surprise that physics is not something that I am naturally inclined toward. Not to say that it's not cool. I think it is very cool, but I'm just very bad at it. And so the way that I dragged up my mark in physics, because my tests were consistently between 70 to 80%, I wanted to drag it up to over 80%, because in Canada, 80% and higher is an A. So what I did was perfect my physics labs until you could not, like they had to be basically 100% or near 100%. So what I used to do, because my teacher back then, he held office hours at, like, it was ridiculous how many office hours he offered. So with all of these physics labs, I would go to him to go over it with him all the time until they were absolutely perfected. And so with, if you took the average of my test marks and my quiz marks, which were like 70, so we'll say 75%, right? And then you took my labs, which were all like 95 to 100%, you stick them together and you get over 80%, right? So I got an A in the course, even though technically speaking, in terms of like the calculations and the actual test taking, the quiz taking, even the homework I wasn't really good at. Like, I wouldn't get 100% on the homework either. So but yeah, like, I was able to kind of like drag up my mark manually because I did find something that I could perfect. Like, I basically just gamed the system, if that makes sense. So I did that same thing for this project for Dr. Bob, and Dr. Bob knew what I was doing. Okay, it's not like he doesn't know. All right, he knew what I was doing and he let it happen. But it was the same thing where I knew that I don't compose very well. So it's like, you know what, whatever, do the work. And he offered to sit there and perfect it with you. So I went in for those office hours to perfect it with him until my final mark on the project was a 96%. But does it sound good? No. And I can say that with complete confidence. No. Yeah. Hey Mario, welcome. Let's see, what did you say? You're in your third year, saxophonist and clarinetist. You're teaching, and when you were teaching yourself flute, my videos helped a ton. Oh, yay, I'm glad. I'm so glad. That makes me happy. And are you enjoying the flute too, along with saxophone and clarinet? It sounds like you're majoring in that. Is that right? Saxophone and clarinet? That's awesome. Hey, Alan. Hello, hello. When is the right time to get a step up? Well, you know how people say that you can feel that you're fighting the flute? Well, let's maybe talk more about what that means, because that sounds like that's actually what your question is. One of the biggest things when you are studying the flute is tone development. Now, what is actually tone development, right? On the flute. You have to remember that the flute is a fixed object. Yeah, you can change some things out and make it sound different, stuff like that. But in the state that it is in front of you, it is a fixed object. You are the organic object, person, not an object. And so what you're actually doing when you're tone developing is you're actually bending yourself to the instrument. You are not just developing yourself as a flutist. That's not actually what you're doing. What you're actually doing is you're getting to know what your instrument wants you to do. Now, you can make yourself sound great on any instrument. It is absolutely possible. But are you comfortable? That is a wholly different question, right? If you find yourself having to do something incredibly unnatural with your mouth to play an instrument at its full capacity, probably that instrument does not fit you. Now, with a lower level instrument, they are designed so that, at least this is from my experience, I think they are designed so that each note has a very large margin of error to get correct. And that margin of error kind of depends on like where you're placing the air in your mouth and how it moves and stuff. So with each note having a very large margin of error on a lower level instrument, the range of motion that you need to make to traverse octaves, etc., is insane. Sometimes you feel like for high notes that you're like choking on your air to get it out like that, right? And then sometimes the flute will play so forward you'll feel like you're playing on the outside of your mouth. I know that sounds impossible, but for those of you who have studied the flute with me and I've guided you towards this, all of you know what I mean when a flute plays as if it wants to play out here and you literally don't have enough mouth to go forward enough, So how do you know when it's time for a step up is when you know what sound you want to make. You can do it, but you notice that in the effort to make it sound good, it's extremely uncomfortable. That's how you know you need to change instruments. It's comfort level, the comfort part of it. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. Ananya, welcome. What are my best tips for going through embouchure changes? Okay. You're asking besides what I said in the embouchure video, right? So you need to keep in mind how long it takes for your body to create a habit. At least 2 weeks. So basically my number one tip would be to set your expectations correctly. The first day that you are on an embouchure change, by the end of that session, you will not achieve the embouchure change. That's not how it works, okay? You have to sleep in between your sessions to really soak in the information of what you learned in your practice session, right? So it's a combination of persistence and realistic expectations. So what you want to ask yourself is, did I learn something? So at the end of the session, ask yourself, did you learn something about yourself? Did you learn something about your embouchure? If you did, no matter how small it is, that was a successful session, okay? And then what you want to do is be like, okay, based on what I learned today, let's make a plan for what I'm going to do tomorrow, right? So that the next day when you come back into the session, you know exactly what you want to do, right? So I do this for my own practice sessions as well. You have to set your expectations realistically. You cannot achieve that kind of change in one session. It's just not how it works. So if you don't want to get burned out in this change, you have to set your expectations correctly. And then you have to review what did you learn in the session, and based on what you learned, what makes sense to work on the next day. That's my biggest tip. Yeah. Oh, absolutely, Kuro. I completely believe that there's more strain in the muscles with flutists playing an inline G. I do like that someone researched it, though. That's really great. I completely believe it. Yeah, 100%. So Harry is asking, would I say that an extremely advanced level of musicality becomes the focus of a practice session instead of technical difficulties? No, it's still 50-50. Because as your body changes, as you grow, your body is organic. And so your body will be different later. Not necessarily that you grow, right? But that things shift. Some things become weaker, whereas other things become stronger. And so it affects how you play. So, or you finally notice a bad habit that you've never noticed before. That can also happen too. So, like, I've changed my posture twice in the last year because I discovered, a better way, a more ergonomic way of holding the flute for me. So I would say for me, it's 50-50. Like, the whole technical difficulty thing, like, I will be honest with you guys, I was really disappointed when I became a professional and I realized that the technical difficulties don't go away. They don't go away, guys. Sorry to break it to you, but when you become a professional, you feel exactly the same as when you're a student. There's no difference. Like, you don't feel different. The idea of technical difficulties going away, like that, it's interesting because you think that when you're a professional that you have everything down, that you should have everything down. This is where a lot of the imposter syndrome comes in, right? So you think that the technical difficulties will go away. Honey, they don't. They don't go away. Because your body changes and you have to keep adapting to your changing body. Yeah. A random mishmash. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, you didn't miss the live stream. So glad to have you here. What is the most interesting Fibonacci? I'm going to call you Fibonacci. For some reason, I cannot say Fibonacci chickpea. Oh, I said it. Oh. Anyway, what's the most interesting thing I've learned from the pandemic? Maybe about myself, maybe about something else. That's a really good question. I think I've learned to I guess I've learned a lot about myself in terms of like my values, if that makes sense. Like, the pandemic puts into perspective what's actually important, and what is important. Your family, your loved ones, it makes materialistic things kind of seem like a joke, and I don't know. I think you realize that the whole world is in the same boat. And so, you just have a lot more, I guess, compassion and understanding for what someone else is going through, because it really puts into perspective that everyone is on the same earth and we share the same space, and we really should be like, that's what we should be valuing, I guess, instead of like materialistic things and possessions and stuff like that. Yeah, Hope that makes sense. B-Fly is asking, have I ever played the Rodrigo Concerto? No, I haven't, but I love the heck out of it. That was actually one of the odd flute CDs that I did end up buying out of the blue. So, very interesting. Yeah. Nicholas, you only like inline G. I'm not surprised. Yeah. I should compose a piece by the kitties in honor of the spam. Majimonkichi is saying. He is referring to this. And I have like a bunch more of these. They're sitting up on top here. You guys can see all my back rolls. I like this dress, but it is much more bodycon than I expected it to be. Oh well, whatever. Can you guys get a piano stream and a composition stream? Okay. I'm just gonna straight up tell you, no. Because I'm not that type of musician, okay? Like, I'm just straight up, no. I'm a flutist, and that is my specialty, and I'm not going to pretend that I'm more than I am. Thoughts on the Powell Sonari 905 and Powell's Arumite, the musicianist is asking. So I believe I think I reviewed them. They're great. They're fantastic flutes. They're really good flutes for people who I believe like to put quite a bit of power into their instruments. Like naturally you put a lot of power in. So they're fantastic though. They're great. I don't know what else to tell you. I believe they were the ones that I felt like an egg shape in my mouth. I believe that those were the ones that I felt that, right? And then it's like the wide end of the egg is on the like facing outward, and then it kind of like rotates up and down depending on the register you're playing. Like I think that was the Powells. I can't remember. Do you guys remember? All the flutes are just blending in my mind now. How can you tell if you're a forward or a back player? Comfort, again, I will stress this. Comfort, okay? Now, if you're playing a flute and you notice that it really hates being played the way you like, and the way that you like sounds really swallowed and like it's not wanting to come out at all, that flute is probably a forward playing flute, and you are probably a back playing flutist, right? Whereas if you're on a different head joint or a different instrument and then you're playing it and it sounds just fine, then, you know, like both of you are back playing, right? Like it's comfort, right? It's all like, you have to decide what is natural and comfortable for you, and you have to try a lot of flutes to get a feel of this. If you haven't tried a lot of flutes, it's hard to describe this feeling. That this is the best that I can describe it, is this forward and back playing. Yeah. Forward meaning front half of the mouth, back meaning back half of the mouth, anywhere in that vicinity. So you can have varying degrees of forward playing and varying degrees of back playing. At least that's what I've noticed about flutes. Harry is asking if there will ever be a stream with my husband, only if he's comfortable. I'm not about to drag my husband in here if he's not comfortable. You guys have to remember, we got to be respectful of his privacy too, right? He's not my prop. He's my husband. He's a person. So make sure, please be respectful. Nicholas, it took you over 4 years to completely change your embouchure. Oh, and actually feel comfortable with it. Ooh, that's a long time. Long time, man. Have any of my students become a professional? They have incredibly, I think they're professional. They don't think they are. I'll put it that way. Yeah. Who do I think is the Paganini of the flute? Oh, there's so many. So the flute, the modern metal flute was born in the beginning of the 1800s. That was also kind of when the Romantic era sort of set in, right? So there was sort of this like mass explosion of etudes and, you know, new music for the flute. So there's a lot of people. There's no one guy that, you know, made like the most, you know, virtuosic stuff. I can confidently say though that the Ibert concerto is the hardest concerto I've ever studied. I can confidently say that, but I don't know if I would compare Ibert to Paganini. They're very different. Yeah. Natasha, embrace the chonk. Part of growing up, man. I mean, I'm still I work out. It's just that this week I've had to, you know, kind of give myself a week rest because I pulled a muscle on Sunday, I believe. I pulled a muscle. It's feeling fine now, which is why I can sit right now. But you know, I feel like maybe let's not get back into the workout routine until next week. Unfortunate, but it is what it is, right? Yeah. Oh, you guys like this dress. Thank you. It's very comfortable. It's very, very soft. It's like pajama soft. It's fantastic. I've been looking for dresses that have that pajama feel to them, but they're presentable. Yeah. Welcome back, Michael. Someone said poutine. Who said poutine? I want poutine. Oh, Diana, you couldn't find the Moise 480 exercises in Mexico? Oh, I'm so sorry. Unfortunately, I don't think it's on public domain yet. I think we need to wait a little while yet before it's on public domain. Well, in that case, I do know that the Tafnel and Gobert 17 Big Daily Exercises is on public domain. I think it went onto public domain last year at this time. So head on over to IMSLP, look up Tafnel and Gobert, and at the very least, you can get some really good scalar arpeggio type exercises there. You can try that. That's really good, and it's public domain right now. Hey, Bethan, can I give some tips on beginner's embouchure? Okay, I immediately thought of something really fun. You guys need to look up my master's professor, Linda Lucas, okay? Linda, Linda. Lucas is Lukas. Look up Linda Lucas and look up Flute, I think for kids or something like that. If you look that up on YouTube, you'll see a video that she made as part of she's second flutist of the San Francisco Symphony. So it's on the San Francisco Symphony YouTube channel. And she made this really cute video for kids. And she demonstrates blowing on like bottles and stuff like that too, and how it's the same idea. So, you know, you want to like kind of play around like that. So embouchure for beginners, one, play around on different bottles and stuff like that to blow on it and, you know, have fun. The other thing that you can do is practice your you know, shaping your airstream and having a very steady airstream by blowing on your hand. And you want to make sure that the air pressure you feel in your hand does not drop. And that will really teach you what your body intuitively needs to do to maintain a nice focused airstream that, you know, maybe like kind of generally speaking is in the shape of like a circle or an oval type of shape. So you want like a nice shape, defined shape to your Airstream. And you may notice that I'm only talking about the Airstream. You're like, well, what about the embouchure? Your embouchure will intuitively do what it needs to do to make that shape. Because really, in the end, the only thing that really matters is the shape of the Airstream and at what angle the Airstream is coming out to hit essentially the opposite edge of the lip hole, right? So your embouchure is actually more of like it's a thing that shapes the Airstream, and the Airstream itself is the important thing. So a lot of people put way too much emphasis on the embouchure, thus making it really tense and really tight and stuff like that, when really you need to be more concerned about the actual Airstream itself. So that's how I used to teach my beginners, was I would blow on their hand like the way that I normally blow into the flute. This was pre-COVID, okay? And they would, so they could feel it, then they blow on their hand imitating what I just did. And then I make them blow on my hand so I can, verify that they're doing it correctly. And then we plop them on the flute to do the same thing. Bob's your uncle. Usually works really well. So there you go. If I ever feel underdressed, just remember the phrase, I'm sorry I'm not dressed to receive. Oh, sassy. Emily, it sounds like you're already trying the rockstro and it's helping. Oh, that's fantastic. I'm glad. The Google said that the Iberic Concerto is the hardest flute piece. Is it really? I mean, it certainly feels that way, but, I don't know. Saish, thank you. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. You said that I'm really underrated. Thank you. You don't even play the flute. You play the piano, but it's really fun watching my videos. Thank you. That's huge praise. I always say that if a non-flutist likes hanging out here, that to me, I'm not even joking, guys, I think it's like an even higher compliment and praise to my work than if only flutists hung out with me. Honestly, I feel that it's we create a better, sort of more well-rounded community, I think, when we have people from other instrumental backgrounds too, so it provides more, I think, of I don't know, like a perspective on music and music making and flute playing that is a little bit wider and more, just has a little bit more interest and uniqueness, differences, all kind of melting together, So thank you. That's huge for me. Thank you so much. Natasha, you bought some flannel with sharks in Santa sweaters and hats. That sounds like, wow. That sounds amazing. Sounds like you bought the fabric. Are you going to make pajamas out of it? Because those would be perfect. Wow. Wow. Harry, I was actually thinking of doing a concert stream. I was thinking of that. I would say that right now, maybe is not a good time, because I'm still kind of actively doing this huge project with the eBear over on Twitch. So maybe once that is wrapped up, I can do a concert stream, because then I could perform the eBear too. Like, how cool would that be, right? Let me see. Is it that video? Oops. It probably is that video that Oriana found for Linda. Oh, Natasha! James Golly even plays a Sharpie lid? Wait. I have Sharpies? Wait. Okay, I said I wasn't gonna do any playing, but this is way too intriguing. Okay, What color should I try? I'll try green. Okay. So like this lid? Is that what he's... It never occurred to me to do this. I'm trying to find the right angle. Fantastic. Hey Judith, how are you doing? Hey Lainey, welcome. Hey David, what's up? How are you doing? Lainey is asking if I have any advice on how to have a nice sound and a good tone. I think for those of you who have been around for a while, you will know what my answer is, and it is to practice a heck of a lot of harmonics. So what harmonics does is that it doesn't matter what flute you have, it will decrease the margin of error to get that note sounding beautiful, right? It decreases it by like way far. So if you practice a lot of harmonics and a lot of tone matching with the normally fingered version of the pitches that you are playing, you can really go far really quickly. So practicing harmonics would be my answer to that. Oh, Bethan, thank you for being here with us. You were mentioning that you appreciate the welcome here as a sax player. You find flute playing very different. It is very different, and you like my videos. Thank you so much. Energetic Joanna is back. I mean, come on. Who would not be energetic trying to play a Sharpie cap? 4-Lun Gaming, you also just tried rolling the head joint inward and you're already noticing the difference. Isn't that crazy? So, by the way, 4-Lun, make sure you're rolling out the body, not just rolling in the head towards you. Okay? You got to keep that in your mind. Also depends on how long your finger is. So for me, from here to here, I am just over 6 inches. And so I use essentially the full rockstro grip. And it's the most comfortable to me. Now, if you are longer than this, so if you're a little bit longer, you'll actually want to not have the body as rolled out as me. So you kind of have to adjust it as you go. So like, for example, if you're like 6 1/4 or to 6 1/2 inches, like from base of palm to tip of ring finger, I noticed that it's like, if you turn the edge of the lip hole to about like 1/3 the way in to the keys, like when you're aligning it to the keys, like 1/3 the way in, that's about right. When you get up to around 7 inches, 7 1/2, you're actually more in line. Like the whole lip hole is really kind of more in line with the keys. So it kind of depends on the person, It depends on how much finger you have to come up and over, right? If the less finger you have to come up and over the keys, the more you need to roll the body out to make up for the lack of finger you have. I hope that makes sense. Yeah. Judith, you didn't know the expression was a thing for far too long. And you would just say, when someone said Bob's your uncle, you would say, yes, yes, he is. Oh, that's great. Try to see if color affects the tone. Okay, someone's asking for lime, so we'll try it. Am I just getting used to it? Yo, we gotta do. Let's do pink. It's the same pitch, right? Although I find for some reason the lime is a lot easier to play. Why is the lime easier to play? What pitch is that? I don't know what pitch that is. Let's see what pitch this is. All right. So like a sharp B? That's what it looks like? All right. Back to the T. What about the bear is so difficult? Cross fingerings. A lot of cross fingerings. Very hard to memorize because harmonically it's insane. And it's also, if you don't look closely enough and you don't study it enough, it's hard to see where the line is going or how you should be playing something. Yeah. The cross fingerings though. Also the fact that the, in the third movement, the recap is 95% the exposition, but a half step higher. Let that sink in. Okay, it's probably sunken in now. Not quite a B. Yeah. It's in our brains. Certain color is easier to play. Do I just like lime? Is that what it is? Maybe it reminds me of my mom, because my mom's favorite color is lime. Yeah. Different colors might have different densities since different pigments have different weights. But these are just the, oh, wait, are you talking about like the, because the cap is colored? Oh, that's interesting. Can you get harmonics out on a Sharpie lid? I don't think I can, to be completely honest with you. Because I would probably have to like blow really hard to get that. Yeah, no, that's not happening. Jane, how are you doing? Welcome. How are you doing? Batman-y, hello. Freud would say it's the conscious versus the unconscious. Probably. Probably. Yeah. they put pigments in when they do the plastic molding is negligible. Yeah, I would say that it's negligible, right? So maybe it really is like what Nicholas is saying, this kind of like sort of psychological, you know? Maybe I'm just more comfortable with the lime because it reminds me of mom, you know? Oh, you guys are so sweet to each other. I love that you guys know each other too. You guys are like recognizing each other's like usernames and stuff. Well, I I said this yesterday on Twitch, and I wanted to say it here too, in case some of you YouTube folks wanted to join us over on Twitch. Thanks to my Twitch group and the crazy amount of discussion and experimentation that we've all done together over Twitch and on Discord, you guys have immensely impacted the experience of my students playing the flute. I now have had a couple students within the span of 7 days sound entirely different. Like, just suddenly the fluency is there. They're no longer re-gripping the flute when they change to different fingerings. They sound stunningly strong and amazing, you know, and quite honestly, I nearly was moved to tears. Like, I could feel the tears welling up because you could see how comfortable they were now with the flute. And to see that change in 7 days from when I introduced the Rockstro grip to them, more like Rockstro grip plus figuring out the actual alignment in order to hold it that way. Like, it's just insane. And I thanked my Twitch peeps here, but if I thought I would mention this here on YouTube too. So in case that you guys wanted to join that type of community where we all really gather together to, you know, share different ideas on flute playing and music making, and we can all experiment together with absolutely no judgment of each other, that there's no one right way to do something, with this understanding that, you know, each flutist is different, and so and valuing that and like not just valuing it, but celebrating the differences and uniqueness from flutist to flutist. And when we help each other, I really noticed that you guys do it from the perspective of like, hey, let's find out what's comfortable for you. You don't have to do it the right way. You know, it's the baseline concept should be correct in that you should feel comfortable. You're playing in tune and you're not in pain, right? And you get a full sound, etc. Like, we are that type of community over on Twitch, and I would love for more of you to join that, because I can tell that some of you here on YouTube are kind of like yearning for that kind of community. I can feel that in the chat. So I thought I would say, hey, you might want to come on over to Twitch to kind of have that part of this community, because I would say that here on YouTube, a lot of you guys tend to kind of treat me like an expert and less of a person who's also still learning. And I want to break down the expectation that I'm an expert, because one, I'm not. I don't think I ever will be. And two, I don't want the responsibility of being an expert. I just don't want it. You know, I would rather be part of a community where together we can help each other. You know, it's not about just going to an expert to get expert advice and, you know, expecting that their expert advice will magically work for you. I don't want that. It's a lot of responsibility. It's a lot of, it's putting me on a pedestal that I should not be on. I feel gets in the way of me learning, right? If I let myself stay on the pedestal. So if I want to keep evolving, if I want to keep learning, if I want to keep growing, I cannot be on that pedestal. And so on Twitch, I definitely am not. You know, you guys can see me struggling. You can see the blood, sweat, and tears behind the curtain, basically. You can see me learning actively, and I am so much more comfortable in that kind of like way of functioning, if that makes sense. Whereas here, I have to admit to you guys that I'm very uncomfortable being seen as an expert. Very uncomfortable with it. I actually don't like it, straight up. And I appreciate, though, that you guys, you know, value my input. 100%, I appreciate that. That is a separate thing. But I hate being seen as an expert because I feel often that it gets in the way of me learning. Yeah. So that's why I am inviting more of you to join us over on Twitch, because I think you guys can see more of the even real version of me over on Twitch, even more so than here on YouTube. Yeah. You guys don't need to be sorry that I feel this way. I think it's not a surprise that this has happened, right? And like, I want you guys to know how I really feel about all of this, you know? Yeah. So, yeah. You're right, Fibonacci. When is someone an actual expert, right? Well, like, I prefer the word experienced. I can confidently say I'm experienced. I can say that. But can I say that I'm an expert? No, I can't. I can't, guys. There's a reason why I can still do these Flute Center New York reviews. Why? Is because I don't know what I am about to try. I don't know everything about it. You know? Yeah. Oh, Jane. I suppose if that's how you see an expert, as a person who knows that they're good, they play excellently, and yet they continue to learn, I suppose that you could call me that, but I certainly don't, like, I guess my definition of an expert is different from that then, right? I get the feeling that when I'm on here and you guys are asking me questions, that a lot of times I end up feeling like you guys think I have all the answers, right? So this is why I end up kind of turning a lot of questions on their heads, because I want you guys to know that I don't have all the answers. I'm still living. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I'm still evolving. So the answers that I give you now will probably be different in the future, right? The best teachers are the teachers who've had a lot of experience. A lot of experience, like life experience, you know? Yeah. Yeah. Fibonacci is saying it's much more valuable to look at all people as a source of potential info. Yeah, that's exactly it. I think that's what I really enjoy about our Twitch community, is because we all share knowledge and experiment with knowledge, and we share our findings without, like, even if it doesn't work for one person, we don't diss each other for it, because we understand that it does work for some people. So what we try to do is then find out why it works for some people and why it doesn't work for some people, right? Because the answer to that question, I think, is the more interesting, true answer, you know? And you can't do that if you don't have a community that is non-judgmental, you know? Not only do you have to be non-judgmental, you have to be like fully welcoming. Like, as soon as someone says something doesn't work for them, our first reaction is, ooh, that's interesting. So we're actually like almost more interested as to why something doesn't work. Because a lot of times when something does work, we tend to think, aha, it works. Done. We don't have to think about it anymore, right? Whereas if something doesn't work for someone, that's what makes your brain start turning and start to be like, why, right? Oh, Pabs. Bringing up the voodoo flute doctor. Yeah, I have mentioned over on Twitch that some people do view me as like almost sort of like a voodoo flute witch doctor, which is as if, you know, you name a flute and I should know everything about how it plays. Now, one is I've tried so many flutes that they're all blending together in my head now, and I cannot keep track of what plays like what, okay? That's the first thing, is that I have had enough experiences that they're all meshing together right now. The other thing is that, quite honestly, the way that I respond to a flute is not the way you would respond to the same flute. So the question is moot. I can't answer the question as to what you would respond well to, because I'm not you, right? So, you know, whenever I'm asked, like, how do certain flutes play, I'm always like, well, you tell me. I don't know how it feels to you. I only know how it feels to me. You mean I'm not Ollivander? Exactly, I'm not. You're your own Ollivander. That's what you have to realize, is that you are your own Ollivander. You know? Yeah. Ah, yes. Someone is bringing up siesta again. 100%. Oh, man. I want siesta to be a thing. Joanna Vander, witchy woman, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? You know, Jane, I might have a master's degree, but I can very confidently say that master's degrees are really fast, okay? They're like, most master's degrees are 2 years, so 4 semesters. To put it in perspective for you, the first kind of pre-semester I had, which was not actually part of the, like, I had like a free semester of lessons actually, because some like, what's the word? Registration stuff got mixed up. So, you know, as a sorry, they let me take lessons for free for a semester. So I was like, oh, hell yeah, you know? So I did that. So that pre-semester was my embouchure change. And then I only had 3 semesters. That's it. So I kind of had like 3.5 semesters. And let me tell you, sure, you learn a lot, but it goes by so fast that you realize that you miss a lot, that there's a lot that you cannot have done in that time frame, you know? So sure, I have a master's, I have the certificate, I have the document saying I have a master's, but it's hard to say that you are an expert because you know that there's a lot more that you don't know, you know? So I'm just very uncomfortable with the term expert, and I have decided that I don't want to be it. And I'm more comfortable that way. You know? Or pitch doctor. No. I definitely am not the pitch doctor. You guys know how bad I am with my ear. My husband's ear is much better than mine. I failed my first ear training course. There's a big fat W on my transcript. It is still there. I even took a screenshot of it for you guys in that video. Like, I am like not hiding it. Oriana put it exactly right. I cannot give you all the answers and make all your troubles go away. You're absolutely correct. That is exactly what I'm trying to strip away from my image here on YouTube. Over on Twitch, I have established this, that I am a professional flutist, but what am I doing on Twitch is growing for myself, right? Learning and growing together with the chat, right? That's what we've established on Twitch, but I do find myself fighting the expert image on YouTube. I am trying to get rid of it, like trying really hard to get rid of it. Which is another reason why I came on anyway, even though I'm tired, because I want to show you guys that I'm human. That is the most generous university I've ever heard of. Same here, Jay. Same here. I can't believe they let me do that. I cannot, like, I even remember saying, like, are you sure? Like, you know, like, I don't have to pay for this? They're like, no, sorry, we messed up. Have free lessons. Aha, Natasha feels the same. You have an MBA, but it doesn't make you an all-encompassing expert in business. Yep. Because you realize when you actually go through a master's and you do a master's yourself. Sure, I did an oral defense. Sure, I did a graduation recital. Sure, I did all those things, right? But does that make me an expert? No. You still have, it's more that the degree gives you the tools to continue learning. I would say that is kind of more what the master's has done for me. It's given me the tools. It's taught me to pay attention to myself, know how I learn, etc., etc., etc. Like, it's given me tools. But has it made me an expert? No, absolutely not. Yeah. Documentary of my eBay story would be so wonderful to see. Yeah, I cannot wait for it myself. I think that'll be so cool. Like, I want to do the whole thing where, like, I go back and comb through. Like, I want to take the time and not rush it. Like, I want to comb through my practice sessions, document what changed, you know, kind of in a narrative style, talk through what changed in me, you know, and I can have little snippets that actually show the moments of change, you know, the moments of realization, all that stuff. That's going to take a long time, but I cannot wait for it. Like, I think that's going to be really good. Like, that is kind of my big project right now that I'm working on. Imagine, Monkichi, you're not far off from the truth. I can be singing stuff and John will be like, you're flat, a bit higher on that pitch, And for me, I'm like, la-ti-da, I can't tell. Yeah. Batman-y, you were thinking that after high school everything would fall in place, but you guess that's an unreasonable expectation and not how life works. My dear, you're absolutely correct. In fact, after high school, you'll very much realize that high school had a lot more structure than the rest of your life will have. And that's okay, though. You have to keep in mind that that's okay. That's all part of growing. That's all part of maturing, learning. It's just, you know, a different chapter in your life. Yeah. Yue, my Chinese flute video from 9 years ago inspired you to get closer to your culture and take deeds of the lessons through your university. Really? Oh my gosh, that makes me so happy. Because I myself have been contemplating this sort of like, I guess, my identity as a Chinese North American flutist. I definitely found it in the Golden Flute Concerto. And because it marries the Western flute with the Chinese sound, right? Which is me, right? But I'm so glad it inspired you too, because I feel that when you embrace your culture more and your heritage more, that it really makes you more whole, you know? You don't try to be something that you're not. For example, this dress was ordered from an Asian company, which is probably why it fits me really well because I have an Asian build, right? So, you know, there's a lot of things that even I'm also, you know, like learning to love about myself. And to be completely honest, it was part of my heritage. So that's what I'm hearing in what you're saying, Yue. Yeah. Ah, Jane, you're right. Mm-hmm. You have a BSc and you only scrape the bottom of the barrel where the knowledge was concerned. It's life that gives the experience. Yeah, that's it. That's what I would say. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. C's get degrees. That's so true. I have a giant W on my transcript. Still got the degree. No one cares. Even when I told people about it, people didn't care. Some of y'all still think I have perfect pitch. I'm like, no, guys, I made a video specifically on the fact that my ear is horrendous. You guys. Chi Sound Musician, welcome to the stream. Perfect pitch is great, but scales are meant to bend towards their natural harmony, which is not exactly tempered frequencies. Yes, you're talking about just intonation versus equal temperament, are you not? Is that not what you're talking about? I end up talking through a lot of my students through that concept. Helps a lot of people understand how that all the tuning and stuff works, you know? Yeah. Not wearing makeup gave you back at least 2 hours a day between putting it off, taking it off, reapplying throughout the day, etc. I agree. Same here. Holy crap, I've gotten so much more sleep from not having to put on makeup every morning. Oh my goodness. Wow. The difference is insane. Literally improved my quality of life by not putting on makeup. Not to say that makeup is bad. No. I still watch makeup videos, okay? It's still fun. It's an art. But I know that I cannot touch it personally because I have some tendencies towards almost like facial dysmorphia, if that makes sense. So since I know I have those tendencies, I don't think it's healthy for me to touch makeup anymore. You guys probably have seen my older videos. I look like a drag queen. I did the entire shebang, man. But it's because I wanted to not look Chinese. That's a whole nother topic, guys. I struggled with that for a long time. You failed 4 of your finals, see? And look at you. You're great now. A lot of people think that failing stuff in university is like the end of the line. No, it's not. No. You know? I failed my placement audition in second year because I stupidly decided to go ahead and do it while on bronchitis. 1, got the life experience to know when to back out of an audition. You know, bronchitis is a very good reason. It's also a very good hygienic reason because essentially now we have learned that the flute is essentially a megaphone for your spit and condensation. It aerosolizes your spit. Just megaphone everywhere, you know? So I really should not have done that because I really could have gotten the entire panel sick and everyone else who came into the room afterwards. I now realize how irresponsible that was. So don't do that, okay? So life experience right there. And then, but because I was so trash on the flute, I got no flute parts in band or orchestra. So for that entire year, I only played the piccolo, even though I did not play the piccolo at all in the audition. When I say that I failed that audition, I know for a fact I failed that audition because I got 0 flute parts that entire year. And now look at me. I'm fine. You learn. It's great. It's okay. You know? Everyday makeup routines on YouTube are what prom makeup used to be in the 90s. You're so right, actually. Do you guys remember makeup in the 90s? The like blue eye. Do you guys remember that? That used to be cute, right? Back then. Blue eye with no eyeliner. No eyeliner. No mascara. Just blue, right? So it was blue, and then it was blush, and then clear lip gloss. Do you guys remember those days? That was makeup. You did not necessarily wear concealer. You did not necessarily even wear foundation. You certainly didn't wear primer, or like you didn't set anything with a powder. You didn't set anything with like makeup spray. When you wore lipstick or lip gloss, you would not use lip liner, or you would use a dark lip liner. Right? It was like one extreme or the other. Oh man, those were the days. The bushy, thick brows. Yes, that was around for a while. I wasn't really in the makeup game then. I was in the makeup game when it was like the like thin arched brow. So I used to over pluck my brows, which always made me look like angry all the time. Not a cute look. These are my natural brows actually now. Like straight up, these are natural. I don't have anything in there. The only eyebrows that I pluck now are the ones that literally grow on my eyelid itself, like right here. Yeah. Use hairspray on your face. Yeah. Those are all like the drag queen tricks, you know? Oh, man. It's crazy. I know. So I used to have a membership at Sephora, and I just quit shopping at Sephora, man. It's too expensive. Like I couldn't, you know, especially when you're a musician. You don't have that kind of money. You really don't. You're still amazed at how you can grow eyebrows on your eyelids? Well, I have a fun story there. I did not meet my paternal aunt for a really long time. So my dad's sister. Did not meet her for a long time. Finally met her, I think like maybe 6-7-ish years ago now, something like that. Finally met her. I am apparently the spitting image of her. And one of the first things she asked me was, how do you care for your brows? Which is like a really odd thing to ask, but I was like, these are my people. This woman is my people. Like, she gets it. I was like, yeah, like I have to pluck the ones on my eyelid. And she was like, me too. Like, I had never met anyone else who has the same problem. Like, when I talk eyebrow hairs growing on my eyelid itself, I'm not talking those baby thin hairs. I am talking the thick with 5 C's eyebrow hair that is supposed to grow here is on my eyelid. So my aunt is the only other person that I've met who has the same problem. Hey, Jay Cortez. Hi. I'm so glad you're here. Were you not the person who sent me the breathing video, right? Thank you for that. You've made such a beautiful, wonderful impact on my studio. Thank you. Sephora said money, money, money. Yeah, basically. Chisao, I completely agree with you. I also don't understand why they don't teach just intonation versus equal temperament and like, what they are and, like how they developed in like earlier in music education. Because I didn't truly learn about it until I was in music school, which is kind of like, don't you think that's a bit late, right? Completely agree with you. I do also think that it should be taught way earlier. Yeah. Hey Dylan, how are you? Welcome to the stream. Oh man, Jane, your Ruth has eyebrow hairs too? Yeah. Thick with 5 C's. Yeah, that's exactly it. Random mishmash. Some of your beard hair grows high enough on your lower lid. Wait, here? Oh my goodness. That's crazy. Dante, you do eye makeup and leave your face bare. I mean, that sounds beautiful. Sounds beautiful to me. Let your skin breathe, But then you get to have fun with your eyes. That's fun. Let's see. Nicholas, I just saw, speaking of orchestra, reminded you of your first year of uni orchestra. I walked into first uni orchestra rehearsal ever. Chaik 6 and Shati 6 pick parts sitting on your stand staring back at you. Oh man, those are huge parts, man. Did you crap your pants? Because I would have. Why do kids learn the recorder first? Its fingerings besides B, A, and G are extremely confusing depending on the piece. Oh, very good question, my good sir. Very good question. I'm assuming you're a sir. I'm so sorry. Sir or madam. Or in between. I don't know. I mean, for some reason, there's a few things in my life that I don't know why I have skipped. Okay, so one of the things that I very frequently complain about skipping in my life somehow is archery. You know how when you go to like, whatchamacallit, like camps, school camps, church camps, summer camps, flute camps. One of the like most common activities to do is archery, like just for fun, Miss them. I have been to summer camps. I've been to church camps. I've been to school camps. I've been to flute camps. None of them had archery. And I am still salty about it. So salty. Okay, now the second thing that I have randomly just missed is making videos for classes. Never made a video for class. How ironic that this became my job, right? Or part of my job. Missed every single one. Like, my brother has made videos for his classes. Right? I've had friends make videos for history class. I've had friends make videos for English class. I've had friends make it for their foreign language class. I have taken all those types of classes. Every single one of them. Did not have a video. No video assignment. Weird, right? Okay. Now, the recorder is also a thing that I completely skipped. Most kids learn the recorder in grade school. Like 3rd grade, 2nd grade, something like that. Nope, none. Didn't have it. You know what I had? 5th grade guitar lessons at school. Yo, okay, I'm small now. I was smaller then. I could not do, I believe it's G chord. Is it like this? right? You know why I remember it? Because I couldn't reach it. Do you see how salty I am right now? But I could have done a recorder. But no, I had to do guitar. I am so salty. I'm still 27. I can still do it. I mean, that's true. But then pandemic right now, you know. I did used to play it on the side. You're right. But that was when I was like 4. I was like 4 or 5. Like, I didn't take recorder lessons. That's the thing. I didn't take school recorder lessons. So we're talking about things that I skipped in school. 3 things: archery, video assignments, recorder lessons. Never had any of them. Who has guitar lessons? Haven't really heard of other people having school guitar lessons. I have. Hey Kiki, welcome. Welcome to the stream. You also skipped recorder. Yeah. Oh man. I am so salty. I'm still salty about all that stuff. Right? According to the internet, I'm in my late 20s and I'm still salty about it. April, you guys played guitar for about a week in 5th grade. Oh, we didn't do it for a week. It was music class. We had music class. We did it for the whole year. Guitar. The only chord I remember is the one chord I could not reach. It was this one. Like my ring finger just could not come back far enough. I'm so salty. Can you feel the salt? I'm so salty. Oh my gosh. Like, out of all of the like the extra assignments that, you know, that people normally do in school, like, plenty of people hate the recorder lessons. Plenty of people don't like archery. Plenty of people, okay, hated having video assignments. But these were the 3 things I would have liked. I didn't get it. Wait. Fibonacci, you had music classes during elementary school where you had to make music by banging wooden sticks against each other? Wait, what? Judith, sounds like you and music theory got to be like, ornament this figured bass, have fun, all you non-pianists out there. Oh, man. Man. Sounds like, you know, sounds like all of you guys had similar, yeah, because see, most people here, I think, have done recorder, right? Yeah, most people have done recorder here. I didn't. It just skipped. Like, what was that, right? Like, I feel like I missed out. See, so the only recorder I have is like a plastic pink one. You know? Did you all also watch Swan Lake in music class? No. Apparently I missed that too. No, Jane. No need for you to send me your recorders. No. Send it to someone who will actually play. Because I would not. They should, you know, if you're going to send your recorders out, send them to someone who will love them, you know? A voice flute in D. You can do all the Baroque flute rep on it. I do still have the pink recorder in my music stash. I think it's somewhere in here. It's kind of buried, but it is in here somewhere. Yep, I think I found the bag. Yep, here it is. My parents bought this for me at our local music store because they knew how much I was missing out. Now that I have it out, I have to play it, right? So I don't actually know the fingerings for this, but we can try. I'm using flute fingerings on this. Like, I'm not using the right fingerings, guys. Okay. If Team Recorder ever sees this, bow down to Queen Recorder. All right. I am sorry for representing your instrument in such a terrible light. Yeah. And I'm totally doing like flute vibrato on this. This is not the same as, like, come on. I'm not playing this right, guys. I'm not playing this right. I know. I need to collab with Sarah. Absolutely. Team Recorder is so sweet, guys. Do you guys follow her videos? Because you guys should. She's so sweet. Did you just say I sound like Sir James Galway playing on a tin whistle? I mean, thank you. But I probably wouldn't go that far. Yeah, Team Woodwind. Hey, actually, that's so cute. Oh, that's really cute. Pink Kitty, you need to get an alto recorder. You can't hear soprano even though it's what you grew up with. Oh, deaf problems. Is it that, like, there's certain pitches that you just you don't jive with your ear? Is that what it is? Oh man. Yeah. Guys, I missed recorder lessons in school. See, a lot of people think that I had, all the typical things, right? That people think that I had recorder lessons when I was a kid. People will think that I took band throughout elementary, into middle school, into high school. I did none of those things. Most of my high school friends didn't even know I played the flute. They didn't know. Why? Because I would just disappear after, after Friday at school, disappear, and I would hop over to rehearsals for my extracurricular orchestra. But, my friends didn't know, and then I would do flute lessons in the morning on Saturday. So if ever there was sort of like a Friday night party or a Friday night sleepover, I never went to any of those. Because I was always so busy. So, they never bothered to ask what I was doing. I never bothered to tell them. Fast forward to when I was accepted into music school. The day that I got the acceptance letter, I think we opened it up in the morning or so. I burst into class first thing, into English class first thing, and I just very excitedly told my friends, I got into music school. And literally their response to me was, why? Yeah. What do I think of the Haynes Classic head joint? I don't know if I've tried it before. So I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. They asked why, because they didn't even know I played the flute. They didn't even know I was a musician. They didn't know I did music. They had no idea I did music. Oh, the P cut? So maybe I have reviewed it before. That sounds oddly familiar to me. If I did review it, I do apologize that I don't remember what I said about it. So you might need to go to the, if I made a video of it, you might need to go to that video to see what I said. I can't remember. I'm sorry. It's on the Q1, Q2, and Q3. Okay. I'm sorry. I don't remember. I'm sorry. I don't remember what at all. You looked at Brandon Flute's price and it made you cry. I feel you, Mishmash. When I was 16 years old, I passed by the Brandon booth at the one and only Vancouver Flute Festival that ever happened because Sir James Galway was coming into town. I tried their gold flute and I loved it. And I asked them how much it was and they told me that it was $38,000. So I put it down and backed away. Yeah. Pavel, your friends also forget you're a musician. I feel you. Yeah. A lot of my friends were really surprised. They just had no idea that this is what I ended up doing. I do clearly remember running into some high school friends on campus when I was like in maybe second or third year. And then, we asked each other like, hey, how's it going? What are you up to? And then so when they got to asking me what I was up to, I was like, yeah, I'm like, third year now in music school doing flute performance, and then they're like, what? I thought you went into physics. And I was like, you have been deceived. I'm not actually good at physics. I'm just very good at perfecting labs. You guys remember that story about the $38,000 flute? Good Lord. Yeah, it was the quarter tone flute. It was the Kingma, the Brandon Kingma flute. I still think that flute looks so cool, man. So cool. But I don't play enough music that warrants quarter tones, so it doesn't make sense for me to get it, even if I could save up for it, right? Mishmash! I did a review of the 84,000 Platinum Hanes. That was my last live stream for the Flute Center of New York. Like, it was a little while ago now, and I am still working on the edit for it to edit it down, but it is live and it's still available on my channel. Go check it out. It's a pretty interesting review, like, of my experience of it. Yeah. Yeah. When you were in physics grad school, most of the incoming students were musicians anyhow. Really now? How interesting. Oh my goodness, guys. We're out of time. Oh my goodness. We're like 6 minutes over. Oh, okay. I'm so sorry to have to do such an abrupt end, but I did promise that I would be on Twitch at 4 o'clock my time, which is in probably less than 9 minutes now. So now, if you guys would like to join me over on Twitch, we would absolutely love it if you would join us and learn with us as I am, doing the Iber. So I love you guys so very much. I'm so sorry to have to do this so abruptly. Good questions, guys. I think today ended up being, again, another amazing, chit chat and discussion. And yeah, join us over on Twitch if you haven't had enough yet, all right? It's twitch.tv/justanotherflautist. FLAUTIST. there's a whole story about why I'm not just another flutist over there, and it's very convoluted and crazy. So not actually crazy, but just very convoluted. And but it is just another flautist over there. All right. So if you're not sick of me yet, I'll see you over there. We'll actually do some practicing, but as usual, we'll do 15-20 minutes of just kind of beating around the bush. We have to. It's a thing. So anyway, I love you guys so very much. Thank you for joining me. You guys absolutely have made my day today. I feel better too. So you guys are great. All right. See you over on Twitch. Bye.